I didn't want to watch that. I just got off of work. That's nothing I want to watch.
You see me putting my hand up trying to block it?
Yeah, I was hoping that was none of us.
Yeah,
Well,
I got
it. Happened to him at work when they were doing a Zoom call.
I got into the gal.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a troll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
But I removed them pretty quickly. So if you can continue, Big Al, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So and a lot of people question, well, why do you do that? And I don't have any explanation other than the fact that if God blesses me, then I want to be a blessing. And as long as I know that the money is going for a cause, in most cases, there are relatives and friends who have children, and they're not financially in a position to be able to do some things that I'm able to do. So as long as I put that qualification, make sure that you use it for the intent that you're asking for. And I just have to put it in the hands of God. If you use it for something different, and if you lied to me, then you'll have to deal with the consequences. And it's not my responsibility to trace where it's going. If you come to me with an earnest, sincere need, then I'm going to do the best of my ability to satisfy that. And once I do that, then it's on you to do the right thing with it.
And I understand. I definitely understand that. That's that is kind of a good way to handle those with you, because you're the one that's giving. So it's whether they use it for what they say, that's not on you. You had it when you had it when you needed it, but you had it when they needed it. However, it's not. There is a limit to what you should give, because sometimes we get talked into giving more than we can actually afford.
I don't know what it is, but I could barely hear you. I'm not sure about other people.
No, that's
Yeah, same here.
Hold on, I got
your volume significantly dropped.
You got to be smarter than the equipment.
Can you hear me?
You always say.
Can you hear me now? A little better?
No, not really. It's the same.
Dang, let me try my phone. Hold on, give me a second.
Now, when it comes down to giving money and stuff, like DFG said, he gives money with no intention of receiving it back. Even though you say you might want to give it back, or I'm gonna give it back, he doesn't wait on it per se. But for other people that aren't financially in that situation, when you can't say no to certain people, or you have to say no to certain people, it kind of brings you down a little bit when you can't help. I am a person that I try to help family to a certain point. I don't have problems saying no about currencies because I barely have any, so I can always use that as an excuse of not giving.
Anyway. I respect the way you. There's times where you may have the money or you may not have the money, but you ask the appropriate questions. If you're calling me for bull and you just calling me because I got the money and I'm your sibling and I'm going to do it because I love you. You're not you. That's what I respect about you. You're not. You go be like, is this for a bill? Is this to put food in your children's mouth because you're running low or whatever? If it's not one of those answers, you be like, other than that, you have to find a way. You're an adult, and right. I always respected that about you.
Yeah, because if it's not dying to,
like,
go ahead.
I had to learn to only ask when I'm in a desperate, because I didn't want anybody to see me in a way like, oh, she's always good with her hand out. I wanted to show my older siblings that I'm doing my best, even though if I'm struggling or not, I'm doing my best, and I'm not going to ask you unless I'm really, really in dire straits. That's where I am in my life now. But when I was younger, I might have called like, yo, can I get $20? Can I borrow $20? Can I do this? You're like, nah, I'm not. Because at that time, y'all knew y'all was going to support. Y'all going to be supporting my habit, and you be like, I'm not going to support your smoking habit at all. If this is not for one of your children, I'm not. So I had to learn to be like, okay, I had to learn to accept no's and just
Right.
leave it at that and figure it out.
Right. Right. You're right about that. You have to realize certain things in life. I'm a person, I'm a hustler. I'm going to try to hustle as much as I possibly can. But if I come to you and in dire straits, it's because I done hustled myself to the point where I can't hustle anymore and I need help. But I'm going to try to work it. I'm a creative person. Unfortunately, I am a creative person, and I will make something and sell it. I remember when I was a young teenager, I think I was still probably between 12 and 15 years old, where we were living in the projects, and our mother didn't have any funds, and sometimes we didn't have no food in the refrigerator. And I would go hustle. I will knock on the old people's door. Do you need me to do your laundry? You need me to go to the grocery store? You need me to clean your house? I was on the third floor washing windows on the outside, taking down drapes. And, back then they had it where it was on those the rod things, and it was a lot. Had to take them down, take them to the laundromat, wash them, bring them back, put them back up. That was my hustle to get some money to buy food in the house for me and my siblings. And so when someone wants to ask for my hard-earned money, it needs to be for what you need it for and not what you want it. You want, I want cigarettes, or I want some weed, or I want some beer or something like. No, that's not what I worked hard for. So I want to help you out, but but I guess we got to the point where we are all now I'm gonna say trained, that we only to ask when we definitely need it, and we exhausted all of our other avenues. And like you said, Big Al, I need to know, is it for your children? Is it for a dire need, in a sense, before you give it? Because people, when you keep giving money, they're, I'm gonna get some money to such and such. He'll give me some money, ain't no problem. I'm gonna just ask, and I'm just gonna tell him, my son, I can't get any money. I refuse to ask my son for money. I refuse. I told him in his face, I will go homeless before I ask you for another dime. And because he would question me about what I needed for, why I'm asking him for it, and he'll have a whole list of stuff, and I'm like, okay, if you feel it out, you got to go through this with your mother, that you don't trust her to be able to spend that money the way she said she was going to spend it, then I don't want to ask for it. I don't need it. I will figure it out. But I told him in his face, I will go homeless before I ask you for another dime. And to this day, I still have not asked him. None of my kids I have asked for a dime. Because I feel that as a parent, I thought that you would be able to assist me in any kind of way, but you're going to put me through all these strings and stuff like that? Okay. I don't ask you because I know that you have a family. I'm not going to ask you just so willy-nilly. It's important that I'm asking you. So I figure I won't ask anymore. And I haven't. But thank God, God has provided for me in multiple ways, but that I don't have to ask him. But it's just, it's sad that I can't do that. You know what I mean? But I do, in a sense, like the fact that he wants to question you. One time I needed an extra couple of $100 to move, and I asked him if he'll help me. He told me, he said, well, don't pay the last month's rent. Don't worry about that. So I'm like, well, what about my credit? You know, I'm trying to move into another place. Well, you already got the place, just don't pay the last month's rent on the other place. It's like, so you couldn't give me no money, so you want me to do that? So you do, okay, don't worry about it. We good. But God made a way. He made a way. So that was good. You understand what I'm saying? I know I kind of rambled and I'm sorry, but but anyway, I'm
No,
getting
I would say you made your point because like I said,